Fist of Love, been a long time in the making. Daniel's right, it is the best thing I ever wrote. And SF&T, now that I look back, is very embarrassing. But then I was actually young then. So, it's kind of hard when it's a book, because poetry, you just read a poem, bang, done. With a book, you got to decide what fucking bits do I read that don't give away too much without explaining too much. So we'll start with the prologue. That'll be easy. The rain was cold on his back, not a heavy downpour, just a drizzle, cold and tiptoeing across his spine, his bare ass, his legs. It didn't stop them though. It was Christmas morning, 3:45 a.m, 9 months and 16 days since their son had died. 6 months exactly since they had separated, and now they were naked on her back lawn fucking. Not a word passed between them, just grunts, moans, air pushing in and out from mouth and groin. He felt that familiar tingling, felt his toes starting to curl as they always did, and he came. He was always in two minds after orgasm. The feeling was so good, so intense, but then there was always the feeling of disappointment that the act was over, a sense of loss, finality. She heard his toes crack, felt the final thrust of the leg up, and the movement stopped. She clutched his back, holding him inside her, once again wishing he could have held on just a little longer. Slowly he rolled off of her and lay sweating on the lawn, light rain now sprinkling his chest. He peeled the condom off his now shrinking dick and flung it towards the cat who was watching from the shelter of the tent stand. She hadn't moved, just lay there breathing heavily, eyes closed. Raising himself from one elbow, he looked at her. He could see drips of rain sitting, resting on her pubis and breasts. Her stomach was damp with rain, sweat, saliva. All was quiet now. As if conscious of his steady gaze, she turned towards him and opened her eyes. There was nothing there. She said 2 words, "Go home." Then closed her eyes and turned away. He stood on the back veranda, pulling his jeans on, watching her. She was pure white against the black of night, and he remembered a line from a poem he'd read once. When he made you, he came all over his blessed universe. She hadn't moved. As he turned to leave, she rolled over and watched him. She didn't get up until she heard his car starting, the stereo too loud for this hour of the morning. Only then did she gather up the energy to rise and collect her clothes from the hall. She went inside and ran a hot shower. Outside, the cat sniffed around the discarded condom, tapped it lightly with both front paws, and then turned and walked away.